How do I get my dude to marry me? First, I got to start by saying this. Men and women have a fundamental difference in thought process when it comes to marriage. For the most part. Depending on where you live, I understand there's some cultural differences in different places. But in general, what men generally think is, if I marry you, the person that I'm with right now that treats me pretty well and is kind to me and gives me sex on a regular basis is going to become a much larger version, because we feel like you're going to gain a bunch of weight, you're going to stop taking care of yourself, you're going to stop giving us sex, you're going to stop doing all the stuff you were supposed to be doing, or we felt like you were supposed to be doing in a relationship, and that you did do to make us happy in the beginning. This is what men think. Don't get mad at me for telling you what men think. Some of y'all ask me stuff, and then you get mad when I tell you. What's that about? But this is how guys think. We generally figure that you're going to get mad. Or that once we get married, you're going to get comfortable, and you're going to feel like you don't got to do nothing. I know some women feel the same about men. But the difference between us and you is that most of y'all have been planning y'all wedding for like the last 10 years, and no guy does that. No guy is like, man, I'm going to have them lavender flowers in my shit. That's going to be banging. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody going to have purple ties. Purple ties. Everybody going to have that, yeah. Well, it's going to be Tiffany's colors too. Yeah, no, fuck it. We're going to use Tiffany's. No, we don't do that. So that's the difference, That's one of the big differences between men and women. So you have to understand, when you're dealing with a man, to get married, you're going to have to make it worth his while. That's how it works. I know that may sound messed up to some of y'all. I know some of the feminist movement thought process might be going through your head right now. I said, I got to reject this information. But it is what it is. It's the truth. And that's the way the truth works. Sometimes it don't make you happy. It ain't exactly what you wanted to hear. But it's the way it is. You're going to have to make it worth the guy's while. And there's generally two ways that you can make it worth the guy's while. The first way is you can pick somebody who's not, how do I say this in a nice way? I don't really know how to say it in a nice way. You can pick somebody who's not really what you want. You can pick somebody who you feel is like a second choice. Somebody who is kind of like, there may be nothing wrong with the dude, but as far as you're concerned, you feel like he's not good enough for you necessarily. And he feels like you're on a pedestal. So he feels like he's down here and you're up here, and you feel the same way. That's going to give you the emotional freedom to be able to make these demands without really doing a lot in return. So that's a really good way to get married. And you could be happy married to somebody like that. You really could be. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's no chance to be happy just because you're married to somebody that's a second choice and you don't really, you ain't really feeling them like that. It's people married to second choice for like 25, 30 years. So that's a way to go about it. A lot of people don't want to do that. So the next way, which is one that most people don't want to put the effort into, but you got to go through a series of steps. And the first step is you have to become a major asset in this person's life. That means that whenever they do, you have to intertwine yourself into that so that they need you. Not forcing them to need you, but putting yourself in a situation where you do so much that they really can't see themselves being without you. That means that if they got a business, you get involved in it. Hey, let me help you with this, babe. Let me do this for you. Get involved in their day-to-day lives. Be somebody that they can talk to about their problems and issues and things that they care about. Be somebody that understands their dreams and goals. Because if you ain't really, you have to be on focus with that person's dream. And you have to believe in their dream. Because if you don't, then what ends up happening a lot of times is you just floating in this way and they floating in that way, and they feel like if they were to get married to you, they'd have to put their dream on pause or on hold, and they don't want to do that. So they looking at marrying you as being the death of whatever it is they got a goal to do. So you don't want to be that. You got to be focused on believing in you. And if you don't find a guy that you believe in his dream, you need to go find somebody else. Unless it was like I said before, where he's a second choice and his dreams don't matter. but if they do matter and it's the first choice, you got to make sure you find somebody who you do believe in their dreams. Number 2, let him know that you want to get married. I know that sounds like the most obvious thing in the world. Like, really, Chaz? Let him know that you want to get married? Duh. No, people don't do that. They don't let a dude know they want to get married till like 6 years later. Like, hey, we've been together 6 years and you still haven't asked me to marry you. What? You said you didn't want to get married. That was like 6 years ago. But you ain't ever told me nothing different. Well, you should have figured that out. You got to tell the person that you want to get married from the beginning. Like, hey, I'm interested in, not necessarily saying you want to get married to them, but just say, I'd like to get married one day. Let him know that that's something that's a goal of yours. And then as you go on, reiterate, hey, I'd like to get married. I'd like to get married to you at some point. Tell them that, hey, I'd like to get married to you. Not some far off person in the future. Yo ass, okay? So just understand that. And tell them that early on. When you know it. Number 3, gain allies. A lot of women, sometimes through no fault of their own, sometimes through the fact that they just got a badass attitude. But a lot of women get into it with the dude's family and stay into it with him and really believe that that's going to get him married. What happens is, when you don't have allies in the family, those people work against you. Every time y'all get in a fight, they be talking trash about you. Look, I told you you don't need to be with that girl. Even his brothers and sisters and cousins and friends. Man, I ain't saying that you should leave because, she ain't my dude. That's up to you. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like the way she talked to you, man. But if y'all were friends, they be sitting there saying, man, when y'all gonna get married, bro? Nah, you got you a good one, dog. You need to get, you know what I'm saying? You need to probably do something about that, man. You don't want to lose it. You don't want to lose it. Now you got allies working in your favor. But if everybody in the family hates you, man, that's an uphill battle. That's an uphill. Because basically, he's got to be the type of person who doesn't listen to anyone in his inner circle. Those people are usually not very successful. People who ignore the advice of everyone in their inner circle are usually not very successful people. They're usually not doing very well in life. They're like, man, niggas told me not to smoke that crack. I fucked up. You want somebody who takes good advice. So make sure you become an ally of family members and friends and people who he respects. That way, those people are consistently telling him, hey, you should marry this girl. This is something you need to do. The next thing is create a reasonable timetable. You got to have a timetable. You got to have something, because you can't be with this dude for like 15 years and be like, we'll get married one day. I know he's going to do it. I know it. It's going to be so beautiful. I love him. We're going to get married. And you can't also be like, look, we've been together for 2 weeks. When are we going to take this to the next level? I need a ring on this finger. Okay? You can't be like that either. You got to find a happy medium, a reasonable timetable, with reasonable benchmarks. Should we be here at this particular time? We should be here at this particular time. And then, leading up to getting married. These are things we should be doing. Number 5, don't be vindictive. I'm going to tell you, the reason why I put that at number 5 is because you can do all of these things and sometimes it doesn't work right away. Sometimes when you get to the end of that timetable, the dude is going to be like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to get married. I don't know if I can do that. And that means that you're going to have to make that decision to say, if this is something I really want, then I'm going to have to make a separation. When you do that, sometimes the natural thought process is going to be, well, not even thought process, the natural emotion is going to cause you to want to get, it's going to be raw and it's going to make you vindictive. It's going to make you want to get back at the dude. You know what? You wasted my time. You wasted 5 years of my freaking life. I hate your guts. I want to destroy everything in that you dream about. I want to screw your whole life up. I'm going to find all these other guys and have sex with them and make you feel bad. I'm going to do all this stuff. Like, you do all this stuff to be vindictive, and then you come out on the other side and you're like, you know what, I still haven't found the person that I really wanted to marry. And I still like this person. Now they looking at you like, you know what? I would never marry you. I don't even like your ass now. I don't trust you. I don't believe in you. I don't want nothing to do with you. A lot of times, that dude, if you would have just left clean and easy and been like, you know what, we're still cool, but I'm just not messing with you right now. If you'd have done that, a lot of times dude would have had time to sit and brood about it and be like, damn, I messed up. Man, I need to go over and get this girl back. But now he's like, dodge the bullet, because when we got married, even though you may not have acted like that, he's thinking to himself, man, when we got married, she would have tripped. So you don't want to be dealing with that. And here's a bonus one that I also have for you. This is number 6, a bonus. Upgrade with the dude. You already know how it is. A guy's going to think you're going to get out of shape, stop taking care of yourself when you get married. And a lot of women and men, as soon as they get a partner, they just drop off the planet. They stop taking care of themselves, get out of shape, stop doing anything to try to look good. And they wonder why the person feels like, you know, they don't really care and they're not putting forth the effort. Keep putting forth the effort to keep yourself up, not just your physical appearance, but just how you treat the person, how you talk to them. You know, if you used to come in with a smile on your face, keep trying to do that. I know it's harder sometimes when you've been in a longer relationship, but do it anyway. Put forth the effort. You know, a lot of times that effort means a lot, and it gets you a lot of places. So that's the information I have for you. That's like the 5 things you can do to get yourself married. And also a little bonus. I threw it in there for you. Boop, check it underneath.